Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the big show, the Big 3 DFS show for Week 14. DraftKings, FanDuel, all your NFL needs here. As always, joined by Adam Wagner and Chris Sweet. Gentlemen, what is the biggest thing that we learned in Week 13?
Anything can happen. I don't know.
You can never have enough points.
Right.
I guess that's good, but
I mean, multiple people can throw for 5 touchdowns in 1 week consecutively.
That is true. I was gonna say Death Taxes and Doug Baldwin.
Well, that's a good, it's a good name drop. I mean, for sure.
You know,
we didn't
funny?
think Doug Baldwin was gonna do what he did last week. I mean, come on, man. He's been going off. This dude's got 5 touchdowns in 2 weeks. I mean, he had 5 before that in the whole season. I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, I think it's got a lot to do with Russell Wilson personally, but
Yeah.
I mean, we'll break it down a little more as the show goes along. How you guys doing this week? Any big news coming from Texas or Maryland?
Well, it's finals week, man. I'm dying here trying to learn German. Other than that, talking with a few people down here in the local DFS arena here. Maybe have some more news coming up tomorrow. We'll see about that. But anyways, man, we got a few shout-outs to do. Hey, U Stadium, check these guys out. It's a really cool DFS site, man. It's up and running now. They got an app that just released. You can find them on Twitter at @LittleCaseU. Cap lock that sucker at Stadium. U Stadium. Little U, all capitals, Stadium. Give them a shout, man. Give them a follow on Twitter. They follow the Wagner Wire. They follow the DFS Big 3 show or the DFS Big 3, whatever it is. The Big 3 DFS show is we fumble and stumble, as we introduce the damn thing. But yeah, give us all a shout, man. Check them out. They're really good.
That was so weird. I accidentally hit my button on there, so while you were talking the whole time, I was trying to adjust myself over here, and everybody just got a full-on facial of it. So, sorry about that, world.
Speaking of
Facial
difficulties and introductions, our man Bernie Lipscomb reached out earlier this week and said he would love to do sound for us, man. So he's definitely on to come on and do sound for introductions and shit. That's a good plus. That's some news.
Yeah, we could definitely use that for everybody because I kind of screwed everything up already. So basically, when someone's talking, I have to click on them, and that's basically how it's gonna go.
Well, yeah. Now it says I'm presenting to everybody, so this is crazy.
Yeah, we're all presenting.
It's just ding. Like all I have is dings and dings and dings. It feels like we're on a Tony Corner type of segment.
What's that joint called? The one they score the points at.
Right. Oh yeah, we can go around the horn with Tony Reale. Yeah. I mean, Gal is a little Tony Reale there. I guess.
Stat boy.
Just don't mute me like Woody Page. I'll get pissed.
Yeah, I'm so upset I did. Now I have to pay attention the whole time, and everybody's getting.
We gotta hold you accountable. Oh my God.
I don't like it.
Well, consider it fucking work. Excuse my language. I'm off the rails here on Wednesday evening. It's finals week, man.
All right, I guess we should get into the football then.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a must. It's the DFS long playoffs, man. Week 14, counting it down. It's time to roll in. Hopefully, you guys have yourself a squad and you're in the playoffs. Otherwise, it's just a boring week. I mean, I guess that's why the creator invented DFS. It was a bunch of people that couldn't win in season long, so they went to DFS. I guess I don't know. Anyways, man, it's kicking in. We got a few great quarterbacks to mention as we start off. Al, what we got, man?
Oh my goodness! I mean, we actually just brought him up at the opening, but if you're going against the Baltimore Ravens, odds are I'm going to put you in here as a quarterback lock. So Russell Wilson this week, 6,300 at M&T Bank Stadium, I believe, right there in Sweet's backyard. Look, going against Baltimore, it's probably, how they say when you're playing a tough defense, they say it's no easy task. Well, this is probably the easiest task that Russell Wilson's going to have all season long. Again, we talked about Doug Baldwin. No Jimmy Graham. It doesn't matter. It's fine. We'll just find other people to throw the ball to. Luke Wilson last week had a tremendous game, so he's just finding people that are running with cleats on and gloves to throw to, and it's going to be tremendous for him. I'm looking at Russell Wilson have a big day here, and especially at his price, because if you look at the higher price quarterbacks, we're going up into the 7,000s. If we're talking about Brady, I believe he's at 8. I'm really not looking at him this week, but
Russell Wilson?
No, Tom Brady.
Oh, Brady. Yeah, he's always the highest. But yeah, he's right under 8. He's at 78. 78.
All right. So if you don't want to spend too much money, but also get max productivity, Russell Wilson, and you know what? You might even get a smooch from Ciara over Twitter if you give him enough love.
Hey, maybe. I don't know.
My goodies.
Well, Russell's only 63, so that's definitely enticing.
Yes, indeed. Sweet, what do you got for us?
Man, well, it pains me to say it, but I think it is Russell Wilson. Especially it pains me to say it because in my dynasty league, I'm playing against him in the playoffs, and he's got about the nicest match if you could have, and it's about as red hot as he could be. So I'm hoping if I lock him in, it'll jinx him, so he'll have a real bad game. So yeah, Russell Wilson's my lock. Everyone get all the Russell Wilson you can this week.
All right, Wags.
Oh man. Oh, for the price and the matchup. All right. For the past 3 weeks, I have said the Indianapolis Colts are the worst defensive team out there. Blake Bortles, my man. Blake, and I'm riding him in the fantasy playoffs this week too, man. I got him going into a few leagues. I traded him away in one. It was a bad. It hurt to do that. It hurt to give away this guy. He's so talented, but he's going up against the Indianapolis Colts, and they are just awful. If you called any of my article this week, I wrote about it. Bortles has a really nice matchup, man. He's coming off of a 5-touchdown performance in Week 13 against the Titans. He's still priced relatively low, right? I mean, we know that, right? He's going up against the Colts, who allow 280 yards to the air anyways, and they're 25th ranked in the NFL against quarterbacks. Add an explosive, talented wide receiver core and a young, fresh set of legs in the backfield, and you got yourself one hell of a day for Blake Bortles.
Oh, God bless you.
I can't get to the mute.
God bless you. Put that on mute. The cough button.
You know how I like to do, 2 for each segment here, each position, whatever, but Bortles was locked to this week. Absolutely tremendous matchup going against Indy. And the thing that I like about this is I'm looking at the projection sheets and everything this week. There are no Indy offensive weapons that are near the top. I'm looking, and I'm seeing a ton of Jacksonville people there at the top. So I think that this bodes very well for Jacksonville. Obviously, projections aren't right all the time. I mean,
right.
They nailed Doug Baldwin the last 2 weeks, but that's just Doug Baldwin. I mean, Doug Baldwin going to do what Doug Baldwin going to do, and that's that. So, hey, I like it. I like the Jags to walk right into Indy. And I don't know if it's an upset, but I like them.
What's the odds? I'm sorry to cut. What's the odds that Doug Baldwin does this again this week?
I don't know. You're just going to have to wait until the wide receiver segment.
Like a kid in a candy store. Don't threaten me with a good time. Let's do it.
All right, let's talk about some sleepers here. Now, I have a very obvious sleeper for my own team, but I'm not going to use that one. I'll let somebody else go with it. I'm talking about Tyrod Taylor from Buffalo this week at Philly. I know that this is supposed to be the Shady McCoy show in Philly this week, but for 5,400, we're going against the Philly team that is quite porous. What happened in New England last week was a fluke. That's not the real Philadelphia that we know. The Philadelphia that we know is ready to kick their coach in the ass right out of town. I don't like this spot, and especially after beating New England last week, that probably took every single thing out of them. Already got DeMarco Murray bitching and moaning about his carries, which I would be too. But yeah, I think it's all about Tyrod Taylor this week, and also Sammy Watkins is just on another planet right now.
Yeah.
When you got Sammy Watkins to throw to, I'll have you at quarterback at 5,400, no problem.
Yeah, don't threaten me with a good time, huh? Huh?
Sweet. What do you got for a sleeper?
Well, I'll take the man you mentioned a minute ago. I'll take Jameis Winston as my sleeper this week. He's nice and cheap. He's against the worst defense in the league. And I really like what my man Jameis has been doing lately. He might have the playoffs on.
Your man? Your man?
He's my man now, man. I like Jameis.
You hear me say me and my boy Philly Rivers, I'm going to babysit the 8 kids this weekend? No. Hell to no.
Is that a confirmation? Is it 8?
I believe 9 is on the
I'd
way.
say,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if 9's on the way yet. That's working quick, but she just had 8 like 2 weeks ago. So you can't rule it out, though. You know, you can't rule it out. You
No,
can't rule it out.
It is
He
Phil
might
Rivers.
have a whole bunch of Irish. He might have Irish 8 tuplets or 9 tuplets. You know, it's hard to say. But yeah, you know, I really like Jameis Winston. He's definitely showing me he's going to be a real quarterback in this league. He was worth the #1 pick. I mean, you don't see anyone make that run he made last week to get the first down. That was just ridiculous.
That was
He's got the
Tecmo Bowl type
weapons.
shit
That
right
they
there.
didn't stop the play. You know, like for sure, I thought they would blow the whistle dead, especially.
Yeah, you know, a lot of
And then Homeboy
so
just
many
pulls
people
his
would have been.
leg out from under the pile and turns around and says, "I'm gonna get this first down."
I'm gonna get
So
to
many
that.
people would have been blown dead, but they didn't blow it dead. So that's good on Jameis, good on the Bucks, and
Right.
whoever, you know, as long as he watches tape and knows to just throw it Browner all game, he should be fine.
Yeah, the great part about that play too is the radio guy for the Buccaneers. He calls it. He's like, "It's a fumble," you know, and it's like, well, wait, what? I mean, that's not how I was watching the game. I'm just, you know, watching the replay of it online. Buccaneers.com, probably one of the best NFL sites out there. They do a great job. But yeah, just a tremendous run by Jameis Winston. I look for him to carry this right into Sunday. We got some more Buccaneers to talk about, but we shall get there. We shall get there. Mr. Wagner, who are you sleeping on? Or who are the people
I was
sleeping
sleeping on Tyrod Taylor, man. He was a really good sleeper this pick, especially going up against that awful Philadelphia Eagle defense, man. They're ranked 29th going off against opposing, you know, quarterbacks. They're allowing that many points, you know, against them. This guy's been getting it done with his legs. He's creating chances, and I think, you know, he is, you know, standing behind, you know, Shady McCoy, and they really want to get this win bad for Shady. I mean, I think Shady has really kind of, you know, brought the team together almost, and you know, made it somewhat personal, man. I mean, the dude's going back to Philly. He wants to show Chip Kelly how the his offense is supposed to run, and the way that it's done is through, you know, the trio on the Bills with T-Mobile, LaShawn Shady McCoy, and, you know, Sammy Watkins. I mean, these guys are phenomenal, man, and no one is as hot as these three are over the past couple of weeks. It's going to be a fun week to watch.
My favorite thing about LaShawn McCoy is he held a party and only invited women. I mean, obviously his closest boys and all that, but like, that's so baller that you could do that. Like,
Yeah,
I would probably have an issue. Like, I think I have like 4 girls' numbers in my cell phone. So, you know, I mean, that's not even including the girls that I meet on OkCupid. So, I mean, you know, I would really have to. I would be struggling to try to find it. So maybe if I'm going to host one of these parties, I should get in touch with Shady, because I mean, you know, that's just a classy thing to do right there. Just
Well, I don't know how
Shady.
classy it is, but it definitely he helps Tyrod Taylor become my sleeper this week. That and the price at 54 on DK.
You say tomato, I say tomato. I still think that's classy as all.
Together, it all makes a wonderful pasta, baby.
I don't even think they were allowed to bring cell phones, which, I mean, you know, that's a whole nother thing within itself. Okay, going from chicks without cell phones at parties, let's talk about wild cards in this one. The wild card for me, I had 2. One is easy, Cam Newton, future MVP of 2015. The guy's just on an absolute tear, going up against the Falcons, who are just a ton of shitbags. This is an NFC South matchup, so shit could get wild. We could see a lot of points like we did in New Orleans last week. But the guy that I like, Ryan Fitzpatrick, 5400 on DK at home against Tennessee. I'm not going to go with exact stats tonight. You know what? I'm just going to call them good or they're shitbags. And Tennessee defense are a bunch of shitbags. We got Brandon Marshall. We got Eric Decker on that team. These guys are about as consistent of receivers as we've had in the NFL all season this year. When Fitzy's throwing them wicked fastballs to these boys from Harvard down in New York City, it's going to be a good one. Going against Tennessee. Don't forget it. 5,400. Especially last week, too, going against the Giants, who I think are a similar type of defense in terms of crappiness to the Titans. Yeah, we could see another 20-point day.
Shockingly, though, man, it seems that way, but shockingly, though, I just pulled the stat up, and Tennessee's only yielding like 230 yards through the air. So, I mean, that's a little daunting. However, I mean, you mentioned it, man. These guys have been consistent. I mean, Eric Decker is getting you 15 to 20 points a week. Marshall's been exploding over the past couple of weeks. I think they and Fitzpatrick have certainly, found a bit of a, smooth stroke, so to speak, and they can be getting it done, man. You never know. I mean, God, we've seen I just mentioned we've seen 2 weeks in a row with multiple quarterbacks throw 5 touchdowns.
Oh, for sure. And when
look what Bortles just did to this team. You know what I mean? Look what Bortles just did to this defense, man.
You brought up a good point there with Decker and the Marshall. It's like, listen, these guys ain't throwing the ball themselves, Somebody's getting it to them, and that's Fitzy. Wicked hot fastball. Sweet. What do you got here for wild card?
Well, I'm going to take a page out of Wagon's book for like the last 10 weeks in a row. I really like the guy going against the New York Giants this week, Ryan Tannehill. I don't think Peyton's going to have – he might eat a lot of chicken parm this week, but I don't think he's going to have a real good game on the football field. But I really like Ryan Tannehill at 5,200 going up against the New York Giants on Monday night, that late-night bat you got there. He didn't have to do much last week, so I don't think a whole lot of people will be on him. But 2 weeks ago against the Jets, the other New York team, he had a great game, 353 touchdowns, about 27 points on DraftKings. So I think that's a nice guy there. And I don't know about you fellas, but with the Millionaire Maker being $3 this week, I'm looking at GPP City. I'm not probably doing much cash game this week.
What is this $3 Millionaire Maker you speak of?
Yeah, it's not free this week. $3.
What are they still doing the $20 one?
Nope, it's still $1 million first prize. There's like 900,000 spots or something. So get on it. I guess they're trying to get more people up in it. I don't know, but I'll definitely have 4 or 5 entries.
That explains the $3 entry. Okay, well, now you just gotta throw like 6 darts at the dartboard. So no issue there. All right. Wag, did you have the wild card?
Yeah, my wild card has been mentioned. It's Chris Sweet's adapting to my strategy. I like it. I dig it, man. Makes me feel good. Makes me feel like people are learning. Learning's occurred. It's Ryan Tannehill, man. That and just something about recent players that played together in college. They want to show each other up, and I'm talking about Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry I picked last week across the board to have a monster week. He did not show up. Emotionally, he could show up this week. I mean, like I said, we all love competitions, especially in this world of of eliteness, so to speak. Everybody wants to be number one, and everybody has that pride. And you're going to see it with through these couple of LSU boys who I think there's a stat out there that LSU has produced the most NFL players, and that tradition speaks for itself. That's a really prideful school.
And STDs.
What? And quite possibly. I thought Towson had a pretty bad reputation.
I thought I heard Frostburg was like
Frostburg's pretty bad. Frostburg's pretty bad.
I think you guys
collegiate in academia,
You should look up the Rutgers statistics. They are not pleasing one bit.
Well, maybe in another segment.
Okay.
Anyway,
promise?
Yeah, I think Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. will have a field day, trying to show each other up. Look for big games out of Eli Manning and Ryan Tannehill because they got to throw him the ball too. So Ryan Tannehill going up against the worst defense out there, the New York Giants, and they are allowing 315 yards through the air. If Ryan Tannehill does not take advantage of this, he's done. He's done.
Done, son.
Well, he basically is. He kind of sucks. I mean, his wife is hot, so that should buy him another
the
year.
He's made progress. He's made progress. He has made progress, man. Especially in the beginnings of the season, I thought he was going to be phenomenal. I had him picked as in my top 5 for quarterbacks to finish. it doesn't say much. I also had Peyton Manning. So.
He's old.
Wish
I had that feeling.
I've missed on a few this year, gentlemen. I have. I admit that. I admit my faults.
We all have. We all have.
We all have, man.
That's what makes it fun, man. Shit.
Look at the preseason top 10 running backs. There's like 2 dudes that are even like worth starting.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a good stat. Anyways, everybody's breaking down everybody's breaking down McCoy. Everybody.
All right, let's get into it. All right, so I started the locks. We can kick it off with Sweet for this one. Who are you locking up at RB this week?
Well, I'm going to go back to go back to your boys, Al, with Doug Martin. He's got to be the lock of the week. You know, he's going to New Orleans. I mentioned it last week. They're just as bad against the run, maybe worse as they are against the pass. So, you know, I like Jameis, but I think, you know, if he was my sleeper, my lock is Doug Martin because they're going to give him as many carries as he can, I think, and my man's going to get loose. And he is my man because he's on my dynasty league since he was a rookie, so I don't care if he's on your team. That's my man right there. All right, Al?
That's cool. I had Doug as a lock as well. But if it's not Doug, I'll get back to Doug in a minute. But just as it was last week, Atlanta, they are the number 32 rush defense in the entire league. So that means Jonathan Stewart could get busy here. I mean, Cam is the wild card, but Jonathan Stewart, this guy provides a very, very safe number for you every week. You know you're going to get not quite 20 most weeks, but maybe like a 17, 18, or 19. See him getting a little more since Cam threw the 5 touch, or how many? I think it was 5, right? They threw last week.
Yeah, he threw 5.
Arm probably need a little extra ice this week, so let Jonathan run a couple in there. He hasn't had that many rushing touchdowns. And Carolina's at the point now where they can kind of dick around on offense. I mean, they're so much better than everybody. It's like,
you think they want to let this undefeated season go, though, man?
That's the thing. They could try not to and still do it. Like, they could probably throw 5 interceptions, and I doubt it's going to happen, but they can throw 5 interceptions, and they'll still probably win.
Atlanta's a dangerous team, though, man.
They suck. They absolutely suck.
They impressed us for the first 4 weeks, although they didn't really play anybody, but they impressed us. They looked
Eagles, good. Cowboys. I mean, come on. Yeah. Let's get real here. But
they shouldn't have beat the Redskins.
You're right. They should have lost that game against the Redskins.
Back to Doug Martin, though, absolutely right. And surprisingly, this is the highest total on the board here with Tampa Bay. I mean, this hasn't happened since probably Doug Williams was quarterback. But it is a good feeling now that everybody's coming to me saying, hey, man, you know, I need Jameis this week. I need Doug. I need Mike Evans. Because usually in the past it was like, hey, your boys better let Drew Brees get like 6 touchdowns this week, and that's that. So it is a good feeling to have. And, you know, not to mention being 6-6 and in the thick of the playoff race. Definitely a big fan of that as opposed to years previous.
No doubt.
Just saying.
If we're gonna go locks, man, I don't see how anybody can't have Shady McCoy in your lineup, man. You have to have this dude. The Eagles are giving up 125 yards per game on the ground alone. You know, couple that with a furious ego coming off of Shady McCoy, and I don't know if anybody wants to just rub it in. I think it's got to be this guy, you know, to Chip Kelly. I mean, that whole release was just messy, man. It was a black eye to Shady McCoy. It was a black eye to the NFL. You know, I'm not saying that Chip was in the wrong. I mean, he tried to justify his answers, but it don't really look like it's paying off now. It looks like some of the best people you let go are producing, and you ain't doing nothing. So I think to rub it in even more. You know, in the bury the Eagles' hopes of making the playoffs, so to speak. Shady McCoy wants to do it dirty to him. So
Chip's just mad he didn't get invited to the party.
Well, I don't know what party he's coming. You know, he can't come. He can't go to that boat party, man. It's all girls. All girls. He ain't in the inside.
But that Shady's coach, he definitely got to let Chip in on that. That's crazy. Man.
No, I'm just saying. My dad didn't even come to my bachelor party.
Well, I'm just saying, if I'm throwing a boats and hose party...
I didn't either, man. Why would you want your dad to come to your bachelor?
I know, he got mad at me. He got mad at me. Why didn't I come? What are you talking about? I didn't know I was supposed to invite you. God.
Yeah, I'm gonna. If I ever get married, I don't know if my dad's gonna be invited, just because he might just be a little hands-on. It's been a while since he's had a good-looking lady, so we'll see.
Anyway, yeah, I feel
I
you.
don't like talking about my
Marriage is
You
dad's
might
down
see
the road for
something.
you, man. Marriage is down the
You might
road.
see something you don't want to see, though. You know what I mean?
Anyway, yeah.
Wait. What do you mean marriage is down the road? I could
Down the
just
road for
be,
you,
be
man.
a single guy and live
You still got
happily ever.
time.
I don't need to be involved in this institution, all right? I don't need it. Because
It's a
odds are,
wonderful. Look at how it's paid off for Sweet and I.
well, all right, but that's you two. Odds
Well,
are
this
one of
man,
us,
I got pictures
one
on
of
my
us,
wall.
one of us will have a miserable marriage, and it'll probably be me. Like the odds of me
Well-
getting married and getting divorced are unbelievably high. Like the longest relationship I've ever been in was 3 years. So how do you think marriage is gonna work?
I don't know. It's working out well. It works out well. Anyway, back to Shady. All right. The Eagles, man. The Eagles are they're 21st in allowing the opposing running back to score. So I mean, I just think he's going to have a big day. I mentioned the trio there. Rex Ryan. He's looking good coming off of a surprising victory. I don't know. You'll see, man. Let's. I have this guy. I don't see how you don't have this guy in your lineups. You got to be.
I think Shady's a great call. I think he's also my lock this week to stiff a waitress at a burger restaurant in the Philadelphia area on like a $200 check, because he did that last year, I'm pretty sure. So look out, waitresses out there, if you see Shady and his crew. Oh yeah, it was a big story.
But
I'm sure she was begging for it.
Yeah, I think what happened in that story was the waitress was being like a total bitch, and he basically gave her what she deserved. Or
well, I mean, we are talking about Philly.
Well,
so,
anybody that's seen Reservoir
goes
Dogs knows that Steve Buscemi gave a great argument on why not to tip. You know what I mean? So I guess he went off that motto. I don't know.
You know what I think I think it was actually a pickup order. I think that's what the case was. Like when you go pick up your food, and all right, so why would you tip that person? I mean, all they did was kind of hand it to you.
Yeah, I don't know the full story, so.
I'm the dude that works in the restaurant business for 8 straight years. So if you
Italian oven, I remember that.
Italian oven, Houlihan, shout out. If you order like $300 worth of food, somebody still has to prepare that and get it together. So you don't have to give them 15%, but at least throw them a few dollars. Come on, Shady.
I've worked in the restaurant business, the bar business. I mean, you just know that there's assholes out there that don't do the tip, and that's just part of the biz right there. So I don't know, tough to do, but yeah, I'm always very friendly because I've seen waiting too many times.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going, man.
Certainly
spit in my food.
Yeah, I don't want my hamburger being brushed up against some guy's penis or something like that. That's unnecessary.
Would you like to hear a story from when I worked at the Italian oven?
I want to talk football.
All right, we'll do a breakdown of waiting another time.
All right, sleepers we're on.
Sleepers for what? Running backs? Are we on to the running backs?
Yeah, we're on running backs.
All right. Well, I mean, if we're gonna have a sleeper, I mean, this guy's not. I don't see how he can be a sleeper, man. But I mean, for the price, this guy's still relatively cheap. Thomas Rolls, man, he's going up, but this is basically Marshawn Lynch at a discounted price. Yeah, Lynch is listed low, but that's because he's been out for a couple of weeks. When Lynch was running back, in his healthy form, he was up there, one of the top priced backs in the league. Well, this is exactly Marshawn Lynch. This guy's, he's a product of the system. He's in a run-based offense that's just got an awesome ground attack. You mentioned Russell Wilson being able to just, put it anywhere on the field. That just opens it up. It allows the defense to back off and create opening holes. When they get down to the goal line, man, look for this guy to take over and plow it through. At least 2 touchdowns on the, on the week for this guy, man. Impressive running back. We've finally seen what he can do when he's in the game. And, he's consistent. He's put up big numbers. Past 3 games, I think he's rushed, he's gone, 209, 81, and then 101, and a touchdown in each game. So, yeah, I think he's got to be, if he's not your lock, he's definitely the closest thing to a lock. That's why he's my sleeper. I mean, behind Shady McCoy being the lock, this guy is my sleeper. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was going to say, too, this game can get absolutely out of hand. The spread in favor of the Seahawks at 9 right now. I mean, just look at the rosters of the two teams right now, and it could certainly get ugly real quick. So after Russell Wilson throws his 4 touchdowns to a certain wide receiver, then, then Rawls can get his thing going. But, yeah, his price isn't that cheap, right? Where's he at?
No, it's 58.
Yeah, 5,800. I mean, that is kind of expensive. And, Baltimore 6th in the NFL against running backs in fantasy purposes. But I don't mind it, I mean, it's definitely a decent play. It's just
he might get spelled a little bit by Fred Jackson, but he's going to get the majority of the carries.
Yeah, and, I mean, the one thing that we've seen this last couple of weeks is that, value at the running back is where it needs to be. That's where you got to find your $4,000 guys, even your $3,500 guys in some cases. But it's going to be tough to do that this week. I think a lot of the running backs that you need are going to be a little more. Nobody ain't creeping up on anybody this week.
No.
All right. Sleeper. Speaking of cheap guys, Sean Drone there from the 49ers, 4,800, going up against Cleveland. I actually it sucks because I'm a huge Manziel fan, but there's another player that we'll get to later on. But, again, Cleveland's run defense not that good at all. So, Drone, this is a guy that I think you have to have in, if you want to win that millionaire maker and beat out 980,000 other people. Drone at a very, very discounted price there at 4,800 at running back could definitely help you achieve that kind of stuff. Sweet.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm gonna tell you guys about somebody that a lot of people forgot about because of injuries. Another guy coming through, looking good. Now everyone's scared. My man Sharkhandrick West is 5,100, I believe, this week, going against the terrible San Diego Chargers run defense at home. Got 2/3 of the carries last week, so I get it. Ware got the touchdown. He might be the goal line back, but there's going to be plenty of real estate for Sharkhandrick West to take care of in this game. He's 5,100 still pretty cheap. I love the Sean Drone pick. That was the other guy I was going to mention here, but You get two of those guys. You get one of those guys in McCoy, one of those guys, and dude I mentioned, Doug Martin. So you can make it work. Although we mentioned Thomas Rawls 5,800s. It's a little pricey, but it's not really because the top guy in running back's only 7,000. So I mean the whole position's a little cheaper this week. So you can fit two of those guys in there, but I definitely like someone like Sharkhandrick West or Sean Drone in there with one of the bigger guys.
I love me some Drone. Do we all get our sleepers in?
Yeah.
My short-term memory has been god-awful this last week, but also a situation to look out for. Mark Ingram just got put on the IR today, so whether that means they go with C.J. Spiller, or I was trying to look at who some of these other guys are for
Hightower?
But yeah, Hightower's in the mix there. So Marcus Murray, who the hell are you? It's not like Tampa Bay is awful on the ground, so definitely be careful with that. But you will get a start running back for a pretty cheap price. I would lean towards Spiller. I mean, especially with the over/under in this one. We're going to see a lot of points, so, I'd assume he'd see a couple balls out of the backfield this week. And we could see what happens. All right, wild card running backs, anybody got any?
Yes, sir. We got a wild card. Yes, sir.
I'm feeling confident here. All right, what do you got?
Oh, man, how do you not have T.J. Yeldon as your wild card going up against the Indianapolis Colts? I've been saying that this team is just god-awful, man, and they are. Do you know what they're allowing on the ground? I'll tell you, 118 yards. That's per game, gentlemen. 118 yards per game on the ground that they're allowing. I just see this guy. We've mentioned the past couple weeks. We had a feeling that this guy was just going to break out and have one of his best games of his career in his short career. Yeah, it's definitely this has potential to be that game. The Indianapolis Colts are one of the worst teams defensively in the league. Um, yeah, Jacksonville has one hell of a chance to explode offensively. We saw what Bortles did through the air yesterday or last week or in week 13. He can definitely hit this guy coming out of the backfield as well. He's a dual threat. This guy's just one. He's got to be your wild card, man. I love this guy. I think this guy's going to have a tremendous week.
I can get down. I guess on the other side of the ball, Frank Gore would be my wild card. Earlier I mentioned that this game would be in Indy. My mistake. It's in Jacksonville, but I'm not a huge fan of Gore. But again, if we're trying to get cheaper running backs in the mix, a guy like Yeldon or a guy like Gore would be a decent option. Sweet. You got anything to lead us into the receivers?
Yeah, if I'm going to go wild card, I'm going to go Ronnie Hillman as long as he plays. I was just looking at it. I heard that C.J. Anderson may not play this week. So if C.J. Anderson doesn't play, I think Ronnie Hillman's a great wild card. He did not practice today. So
we'll have to keep that posted on the Sunday show.
Yeah, so we'll touch on that more on Sunday. But one of those guys should be a pretty good play this week.
God, especially Ronnie Hillman at 47 on DK.
Yeah, he dropped an absolute dud last week when I liked him, but, whatever. Tis life, gentlemen. That'll happen with this lifestyle. All right, let's get to the wide receivers. Wags, you haven't let off a category for us yet, so do the honors for us.
All right, man. Well, I mean, it's no surprise, man. The best wide receiver on the field is Antonio Brown. This guy, don't matter what defense is on him, he's going to do well, man. Especially when Big Ben's in there. I wrote about it earlier. The Cincinnati Bengals, they have a decent defense. They're not that bad on. I think they allow only 200 and so yards through the air. Let me get that stat right quick. Yeah, Cincinnati, not too bad through the air. They're only allowing 240 yards. But if anybody's going to torch you, it's AB, man. This dude's just nasty. What I've seen one guy that's been able to run past three dudes before, and that's because his legs were just so long and he was fast, and that's Randy Moss. Antonio Brown, he can do it on all levels, man. The Bengals, they're 12th, allowing points for the wide receiver position. But I mean, this guy, even with Big Ben gone, he's still getting almost 25 points per game. Through the span of the season. And remember, Big Ben was gone for 3 games, so he was silent. If there's anybody for the price, I mean, 8,900, it's got to be the lock. This guy can do it.
All right. Sweet, what you got for receivers?
Well, I got a guy that Wags talked about in his newest article as well as my lock this week. One Allen Robinson, who we've bashed Indy's defense for week after week after week, and they've just been giving it up. I know they have Vontae Davis. I don't think it matters when you're as good as Allen Robinson is. I've got a stat for you guys. I mentioned before my man Craig DeLauder brought this up to me because, of course, Craig has him on his dynasty team, but Allen Robinson has 65 catches, 1,000 yards, and 11 touchdowns through 12 weeks by age 23. There's only 2 other guys that have ever done that. Do you know who they are?
Ed McCaffrey and Art Monk.
No, I'm going to say Michael Irvin and Randy Moss.
You got one of them. One's Randy Moss, and one is the only receiver that all of us would probably say was better than Randy Moss. Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
So that's pretty good company right there. Randy Moss and Jerry Rice and Allen Robinson.
I was totally killing on the Ed McCaffrey one, but the Art Monk one I was serious because he has the greatest name of all time. But I digress.
Yeah, I don't think Ed McCaffrey was good till he was like 29 or 30.
Yeah, nobody takes him seriously. He
ran great routes, man. He ran great routes.
Yeah, man. Ed was good as hell. Him and Rod Smith.
He got himself a ring, though, didn't he?
Him and Rod Smith, yes,
man. Easy.
Yeah, actually, got himself 2 rings. I like it. All right, if we're talking about locks, we got to go with the late night bat on Monday night. ODB getting crazy against that Miami secondary. 9,100 for he. This Miami secondary has been torn up by many of receivers this year. I mean, we've seen what Odell Beckham done. I mean, we don't even have to look at the resume. We just watch the guy warm up before any given game. We're taking a look. I mean, he had that really dumb penalty at the end of the game last week.
But they made right up for it.
Right, I know. I'm just saying that was just absolutely ridiculous. But, I'm just looking through the ODB game log right now. 100 yards in the last 4, and he's just putting up numbers like crazy. 78 catches, 1,154 yards, and 10 touchdowns this year. Another tremendous season. Madden curse be damned, people. ODB is the real deal.
Yeah, again, that the Wagner wire. God, the John Madden curse is definitely ineffective once again. This guy's still.
Did you just compare yourself to John Madden?
I did. It's because I just went back onto the picture here and saw the Wagner wire in the background. I've been looking at stats all the whole damn time.
The gall on this guy.
The gall. I mean, I do a pretty good job. Do a better, Pat Summerall actually impressions. You got to give me a bottle of whiskey, and I'll give you one hell of a Pat Summerall.
Oh! I was going to say, you can go get your own bottle of whiskey. I'll get mine.
Oh, man. Anyways, where the hell are we at?
We're moving
Him
on
and John
to
Riggins
sleepers.
getting drunk before Monday Night Football.
All right, well, our receivers. My sleeper receiver, Chris took him. It's Allen Robinson, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. We've seen what this guy can do. I mentioned he got 3 touchdowns last week from Blake Bortles. What can he do this week going up against one of the lousiest defenses in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts? I like saying that. You know why I like saying that? Because they belong in Baltimore. That's why I like saying that. They're one lousy defense.
Your definition of sleepers is insane. I don't know any sleepers for $8,000.
It's not about price. It's about being the sleeper, being the one not chosen. He's got a good matchup.
His sleeper's an all-pro team.
I mean, I think we just named a quarterback that was a high price for a sleeper or a wild card. I mean, yeah.
Cam Newton, right?
Well, wild cards
So if it's based off of value, I don't get it.
Wild cards could be.
Okay, so life according to Al, I'm wrong.
Well, as long as you can admit it, Jeez.
I admit it. You got me.
Sweet.
I don't
what do you got?
I don't understand the value. I don't understand your value.
Sweet. What do you got for sleeper?
Well, I was going to say Doug Baldwin at 4,500, but that's almost too easy, so I'm going to go with a different one there. I'm going to go with Vincent Jackson at 4,500 because I said I like Jameis as my sleeper, so I could go Mike Evans, but I'm actually going to go Vincent here. This is a good spot for him to have a big day, one of his San Diego Charger type days, or maybe like that game he had the first year at the Bucs where he had 200 yards and had like a 89-yard catch that he didn't score on. I know you remember that, Al.
I sure did, and thanks for bringing it up.
He had 200 yards. I mean, he had a good game, but, that's a slow 89-yard catch.
Hey, Richard Muster's a sleeper in the Valley Brunswick Pro Bowl. That's coming from Bernie Lipscomb, by the way. See, we can't do these reads about the hometown because Al gets left in. I hate doing that. I hate making Al look like.
Yeah, because then you leave with a.
Yeah, you can't do that, man.
Just laugh out. It's all funny.
I think Bernie likes just doing it to try and break our bearing.
Oh, Bernie, he's crazy, man. He's crazy.
You crazy, Bernie.
Drop in, Bernie. That broadcasting school's really paid off.
All right. So yeah, I like that. I like that play there a lot. Again, Doug Baldwin would be a sleeper. A little too easy, but again, the projection sheets, he comes in there. Comes in the top 5 again for the 3rd week in a row. But this has a lot to do with them playing Baltimore this week. But we want to go elsewhere. Sweet actually picked him last week, but Devontae Parker at $4,000 going against the Giants this week. He's got the number 2 wide receiver position locked up all to himself. Rashard Matthews be damned. You get the hell out of here, son. Devontae Parker, he had that awesome touchdown catch last week. And, going against the New York Giants defense that is, we'll say porous to say the least. Or to keep it kind.
15 yards through the air last.
But you also get yourself a cheap late-night bat here on Monday Night Football. So
38.
Devontae Parker. And I'm also a little intrigued by, what the hell is his face? Where the hell can I think of his name? The rookie from Seattle, Lockett. Tyler Lockett.
Lock it up.
I know that, Baldwin's been the guy the last couple of weeks, but I don't mind him this week. Wouldn't be bad for a nice, real deep sleeper there. So check him out.
Yeah, I mean that's actually I had a wild card A and B this week, and it was Devontae Parker's countermate, Jarvis Landry. He was my wild card, going up against that awful Giants defense for the price of 63, and then the other guy was Lockett. I mean, to create a segue going, later with defenses, I think, Seattle's got one hell of a defensive matchup this week. You put Lockett on there, it's the special teams, and we mentioned it last week, how you get like the double combo with Lockett coming in as kind of like a, your wild card flex, or so to speak, and then he's also running the kicks back on the defense. That's a double. That's like a 40. Yeah, that's a lot of points, man. That's
12. That's 12.
No. I'm talking about with the wide receiver, catching a possible big performance of him, with the wide receiver position and the defense position. He could have like a 40-point day. It's amazing. Just between he on defense and he in the wide receiver position.
Well, I know last week what we were talking about, too, is having the defense the Seattle defense and Lockett. Man, you get the 12-point return on that one.
That's what I just said. I thought I just said that.
Well, the hard way.
Yeah, in a roundabout way.
Yeah, sorry.
All good. I
thought I just.
Well, the hard way.
I thought I knew what you were talking about, but then you went west on me, and I was like, "Go back east, baby."
Well, we are south. We're not west. We're south.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Yes, right. Great, Marty. Run for it, Marty.
Wild card wide receivers. I just want to throw one name out. Well, you know what? No, you guys go. Go ahead. Wags, who you got?
Okay.
I just gave it.
Oh, that was sleeper? No, or that was wild card?
That was a wild card, yeah.
My bad. My mistake. Sweet.
It's all right, man.
Losing it.
All right, my wild card is I'm gonna try to steal yours out from something you said earlier. I'm gonna take Travis Benjamin of the Cleveland Browns with Johnny Foosball throwing him the football. No one's gonna be on him. He had 0 catches last week. He had 6 and 7 the weeks before that for 90 and 113. And Johnny, if there's one thing he might do is throw a deep pass to Travis Benjamin for a nice long touchdown or two. So. That's definitely a guy. I mean, I kind of liked him all year, but I definitely like him this week.
Yeah, that's a pretty damn good play. Big game takes a little bit of a hit when Manziel's in there, but Benjamin's the guy that thrives big time. I completely forgot to put him in the lock segment, but A.J. Green this week going up against the Steelers, I feel like that's a bona fide number one play. Wild cards I'm talking about this week. I'm talking about Brandon Cooks going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, highest total on the board this week. And, we've seen Cooks kind of break out these last couple weeks. Even going against Norman a couple snaps last week. He got a touchdown. He didn't get the touchdown on Norman, but he's more of a slot guy anyway. And, Tampa playing the cover 2. He should tear this up all freaking day. And then also, we talked about Fitzpatrick and the combination of the Jets receivers, Marshall and Decker. Obviously, don't recommend playing both in the same lineup, but one of the two would probably benefit you greatly. Decker still has double-digit points in every single game this season, so definitely something to look out for.
Also, that's impressive.
Great thing with Decker, he only had 3 catches until the fourth quarter, and then he just started doing the slant show with Fitz.
That's exactly what he does, though, man. That's where he comes through, man, in those garbage points, dude.
Yeah.
Decker, consistent
That
garbage.
was
Decker, man.
that was Fitzy too. I mean, Hobbin Fitzy, he got all those points in the fourth quarter and overtime.
During that game, I forgot who was announcing the game, but it's like, I'm going to help out the Giants. Eric Decker is right here. And they just, put a big circle on it. Oh,
Jeez.
that was a good one. And Eric Decker pulling it in for the white receivers. That's one for the white race, boys. Very nice, very nice.
He's a New Day Wayne Corbett.
He is. And also a Jet. Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Moving along to tight ends. And I think we'd be remiss if we did not mention Greg Olsen. Is that too easy, or is somebody else a lock?
He was my sleeper last week, but he's my lock this week. Yeah, he's definitely.
I did not have him.
Based off of price this week, he's my lock.
He is 6,900 this week. I mean, it is absolutely
69. Am I right?
It's the top one. It's the top.
It's guy. A lot. It's a lot. He's going to be at Gronk territory by week 17.
Yeah, he's very high, very high. Well, he's going up against that that Atlanta defense that's allowing 25th ranked, allowing tight end scoring on him. So I guess that's somewhat of a reason. Yeah, I mean, if we're not, I think we made it the Gronkowski rule that he's always number one. Well, Olsen has slid into that spot while Gronk is in sick bay, so to speak.
Yeah, G-Reg is definitely the guy right now, I think.
Third leg, G-Reg. What you do?
G-Reg with the third leg.
Yeah. Kelsey let us down last week, but he's got to be the guy this week.
He did.
He's going up against Sweet's Chargers. I just think for that price of 47, you got to have this guy in your offense one more time. Give him another shot. Just very. I don't know if that was an anomaly going against the Raiders or whatnot. It's a division game, so you can maybe put a little bit of raw emotion in on that. The linebackers came to play. Maybe they realized that all it was the Kelsey show, and spoke about West getting going. If that running tandem of West and Ware can get it going, then it opens the defense up. It pulls the linebackers in to play that run, which allows Kelsey to get back over the no zone and get open and create some space. If that happens, then you should see this guy have a productive day. And he's got 13.2 points he's averaging on DK. Yeah, it's worth a shot at 4,700.
Yeah, and Sweet knows absolutely how bad his Chargers linebacking core sucks. I mean, they are terrible.
God, they're bad.
So,
pretty bad.
Yeah, this is a tremendous matchup. And I just want to give a shout-out to all my friends from Bayonne who I beat in the Bayonne-only league last week. First place, even with Travis Kelce in my lineup. So, suck on that one, hometown friends. Anywho.
Oh, man, nothing like the hard love.
Yeah, gotta love it. I guess across the board it is Olsen and a little bit of Kelsey. Anything else in that range of tight ends?
Nah, man, it's those two. Those two have to be the lock.
I got nothing this week, man. I just looked, and tight end's Dookie this week, man.
Well, there's a guy. I mean, there's a sleeper that I have that I love for the price. 3,800. I know the Houston Texans defense are pretty. They're pretty good ranked against the tight ends at 9th. But Scott Chandler, I mean, that's basically a product of the system too. He's stepping in for Gronkowski. He's going to get the most targets from Brady. He and another wild card running back, James White. I think that can be a tremendous play as well. These two, they're Brady's. This is all that Brady has besides, I don't know what the status report is on Amendola if he's hurt or not. The Patriots always list everybody as hurt until Sunday, and then, oh my God, everybody's playing. Anyways, I think Scott Chandler steps right in, product of the system, fills the void nicely while Gronkowski's there. It's a discounted price for Gronkowski, basically. That's what you're getting. You're getting a discounted Gronkowski with Scott Chandler at 38 on DK.
Yeah, it sucked because Chandler was at 2,500 last week, so he made the almighty magical price jump there. But yeah, I mean, Chandler got a touchdown last week, so
Yeah, it was late in the fourth quarter, but I mean that's what this guy he's going to get you. He will get you a touchdown. I mean, he might get you 5
still
receptions. One of them's a touchdown, maybe 40 yards.
still counts on the fantasy board.
Yes, it does.
All right, so I have 2 sleeper tight ends, and they're both from the same game, same damn game that I'll probably have my eye on all day down in Tampa Bay. Austin Safarian-Jenkins, better known as ASJ, around the schoolyard in Tampa. 2,700. 2,700. You know,
I just saw that.
last week was his first game back for Tampa. You know, obviously did not have the game that he wanted to. But look, and, you know, I speak to this all the time. If the guy's been out on an injury for a while, I don't like having him come back that first game. He's got to get his head right. He's got to get his mind, body right, all that kind of stuff. So I sympathize with him. Now, going up against New Orleans, if he lays a dud, I might be a little pissed off at him. I might smack him around a little bit through cyberspace, because if I did that in person, he'd probably whip the shit out of me. But, you know, 2,700 for that price. And also, Jameis loves to go to the tight ends. Before, you know, he went down with an injury, he had 2 touchdowns, I believe, like 120 on opening day. You know, this is just going to be a field show with all the balls that are going around the air. So definitely like him to have a big day. And then Benjamin Watson on the other side of the field, 4,400 for the Saints. Now, again, with Ingram being out, you know, they're going to have to find production in other places. Watson has had these big games this year, especially going against the Tampa 2. Definitely places for him to wiggle inside and out of the coverage. So, you know, definitely another guy you should look at. I actually would not mind playing one guy as your tight end and one guy as your flex. Not a bad spot at all. Maybe in a 1 o'clock only, but for the whole slate, you know, get some other people in there.
Yeah.
Although it is the highest scoring game on the day, so anything goes.
All right. Well, I guess it's moving us along to the wild cards here, man, and I guess I'm gonna lead this one off because the guy I was biting my nails asking you guys on Sunday, what's wrong with this guy? Is this guy where is this guy at? Is he gonna show up? Julius Thomas, ladies and gentlemen, going up against that Indianapolis Colts defense. We don't know who's gonna get the ball in this game. Bortles could throw for 7 touchdowns against this Colts defense. I'm hoping that our man Julius Thomas gets at least one of them here. The Colts are 20th, allowing the tight end scoring, and he's priced at 4,200. So before he jumps up even further, we joked about it last week that he was going to have an enormous game, and his price tag would be 6,000. Well, we lucked out. He's only 42. So grab him still while he's cheap. I think for the price tag, he can give you tremendous value off of that.
For sure. I have no other tight ends, but we could talk a little bit more about Orange Julius, I guess now Teal Julius. But yeah, I mean, again, you know, we see this all the time in the NFL where a guy has a shit game and then, you know, we're wondering, oh, is he done? And then he comes out and has a career game. So, again, going against Indy, you know, nobody really that could stop him or anybody else for that matter. So, I am not worried about it at all. Sweet, did you have one?
Yeah, I found one. I'm going to go back to the Giants this time on their side with Will Tye. Now that Donnell has been out, been on the IR for the year now. Will Tye has actually been pretty solid in his last 3 games. For a cheap price of $2,800, he's had 10, 13, and 10 his last 3 games on DraftKings. So, you know, that's not bad. He's getting around 5 catches and around 60 to 70 yards every week. That's without the end zone. So you throw a touchdown in there, and you know, that's a pretty good little sleeper to grab, wild card, whatever you want to call it.
Shout. Wags, you want to comment on it? Our resident Giants advisor here on the
panel?
Yeah,
it's definitely a great play. See, the problem is, though, that Eli's still trying to create that rapport with the tight end. Eli's never been really, you know, that big with tight ends. They're a quarterback's best friend when they don't know the offense. The thing is that Eli really knows the offense. He doesn't get that much credit for his intellect, his offensive intellect. He's actually very sound at that as well. He does tremendous with the checkdowns. The problem that we've seen with Eli is that he's trusting his wide receiver Reuben Randall, who just gives up on running routes, doesn't finish the route, and we've seen defenders step in and take it away from a strong, able-bodied wide receiver that should be snatching balls out of the air. Look for these giant wide receivers in Ben McAdoo's offense to get the majority of the ball. Ty is a tremendous play, and especially with the 3 weeks coming on being consistent, that does have to sit well with Eli. We should see Eli use Ty more often. It'd be great to do it, make the offense more complete, because we know that's how the offense rolls, is when you can hit the sides and the middle. That opens up the deep threat. Get it done, Ty. It is a tremendous wild card at this point. He's not in any of my rosters.
Yeah, I don't have that big of balls either, so,
huge over here. Grapefruits. I gotta get that checked out.
Hitting the toilet water when you're sitting down.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Now that we know. Johns Hopkins is right down the street, right? You don't even know a Johnny Hopkins.
Oh man, you're right there by John Hopkins. Nice.
No, he's a little further.
I'm not that close. Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Presenting to everyone.
Huh? Because you got those rugged good looks.
Oh, thanks, man. My crow's feet showing. Right, Roger. Awesome.
Oh man, that's funny.
All right.
Oh,
let's shut this banana show down with the defenses. I guess I can kick this one off. I got Seattle's a defense that we talked about, 3,500 on DK. We're going against Pick Six Schaub. That's his name. Only problem I have with that is I can see them being quite conservative with the offense after maybe like the first 2 series where he throws 2 pick sixes, and then they go straight to the run. But I'll let you guys go because I have
my favorite thing that you said over on Sunday was, "Oh my God, I think Schaub's dead." That Schaub is dead. And I look up and I just see because I'm sitting here, I'm writing, I'm getting my work done for school, and I look down and see the phone go off, and it's a message coming, Matt Schaub is dead. I look up on the screen and he's just laying there crucified. And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's done. So yeah, you're right. I don't know if he's going to pass protocol or whatnot, if it even is a concussion. I don't know what the extent of his injury, but the alternative is Jimmy Clausen. So I don't see how anybody is going to not have the Seattle Seahawks as their number 1 defense. It's got to be the Lock. Great pick, man. And you mentioned Lockett earlier. This is where this comes into play.
Yeah, definitely. I'll throw it right back to you. The pick and roll. What do you guys at defense?
Well, mine was Seattle, man.
All right.
It's got to be.
Yeah, it's Seattle.
There's other cheap options out there. You got Kansas City as well. They're a decent play going this week. Also, the Redskins. The Redskins I like as well. They're a cheap play.
All right. Sweet. We got the.
If we're going lock, I'm just going to go ahead with the flow. It's got to be Seattle, but I'm just going to go ahead and go right over to wild card. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. The Houston Texans for 200 going against the suddenly, I don't know if they're still good New England Patriots. It's a very crazy play. It's a GPP play, and that J.J. Watt's going to be up for this game, so you got to just hope for some counting stats and that they can just keep it kind of a close game, but you never know. I mean, nobody had the Eagles in their lineup last week.
Especially after Belichick just labeled J.J. Watt as the next Lawrence Taylor. Did you guys see that? That was one hell of a compliment. Sure,
sure is.
Lawrence Taylor. Yeah.
All right. Another. Again, I gotta mention this just in case nobody else has seen the show. But we always try to pick out a defense at minimum price for the Millionaire Maker, so you can go spend and get like a A.J. Green, an ODB, and a Antonio Brown, and make that your wide receiver core. So this week, I might even need a drum roll for this one because this one.
I know where you're going now. Now I know what the tease was earlier.
This one is wicked right here. Hold on a second.
Oh yeah.
Wicked pistol. San Francisco 49ers. We're taking a look at this game. Now, the 49ers are unbelievably cheap. I believe they're down there at 2,900 with the rest of the shitbag
2,100, yeah.
Yeah, 2,100. Cleveland, 32nd. The offense, 32nd, going against defenses. So that means they give up a lot of fantasy points on that end. We're talking about Johnny Manziel. Does he try to, get things done a little more than usual? I don't know. I just think that this is a pretty damn good spot to take an opportunity at a really cheap defense.
Yeah, it's good pick, man.
We're also and again, there's supposed to be some rain out there. We got a very low total, I believe, at 41. I could probably see the Niners winning outright again, but again, for the damn near minimum, you start out with 10 points for Christ's sake. So let's get real crazy.
Hey, you want to get nuts, man? Let's get nuts. I'll take it.
Woo!
Michael, one of the worst Batman. No, I can't say that. Val Kilmer and George Clooney played Batman too.
I'm not going to do what you think I'm going to do. Just freak out.
Oh, yeah. All right, so that wraps up Week 14 of the NFL. Any closing thoughts, gents?
Nah, man, it's been a great year grinding this out. We're in the fantasy football playoffs, Week 14.
Right.
Tweet us your questions. It's gonna be a fierce week, man. It's a cutthroat league everywhere, man, especially coming to playoffs. So you can find me at the Wagner Wire. Check out my article I just dropped on the WagnerWire.com. It's got the top plays mentioned. It's basically a rewind of this, so to speak. If you missed the show, this show will be posted on the WagnerWire.com as well, and make sure to check us out on Sundays as well. If you're watching this, you are the resistance.
Ooh, I like it. Now, who is like the main guy that you're going up against in fantasy this week in the playoffs?
That's Dave Zidek, I believe. No, it's Sliggins. It's Sliggins.
No, you got Sliggins.
Yeah, I got Sliggins, and he's got a steel stack. He's got Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, and he's also got Martavius Bryant or Wheaton. Might be Wheaton, not Bryant. Anyway,
got Bryant.
That's all he's got though. From what I see, I got myself a nice little handy dandy squad. So.
All right. Sweet. Who you got that you're going up against in playoffs this week? You want to throw a little shit talk their way?
Yeah, so check this out. So in my Dynasty League that I worked real hard, I have the most points in the league. I'm the 5th seed. I'm playing the 4th seed, who has the 2nd most in the league in round 1. Yeah, so that's awesome. So, the 2 teams with the most points are playing in round 1. Shout out to Silas Nipper. Good luck to him, man, because, we both grinded and have a good squad. So, man, I don't know. I'm not feeling real good about it. I've had this squad. I got Rivers, who was good most of the year. I got AP. I got Doug Martin. I got Brandon Cooks. I got Antonio Brown. I got a pretty nice squad going there. I don't have anything for tight end though. Like, I don't even, man. There's not even anyone on the wire. So, pray for me, everyone, because that's gonna be a sad Wednesday show next week if I get knocked down.
Well, in an interesting scenario that I had on Monday night, had Des Bryant gotten, I believe it was four or less fantasy points, I would have gotten a bye in the first round. Turns out Des Bryant ends up getting 5, and now I got to play in the first round after holding down the first spot all season long. Had a lot of injuries, but I battled back. Now I'm going up against Jeffrey Watkins this week. Now, if I win, I don't like to look ahead, but if I win, I go up against my best friend, Matty Mulhern. So there's a lot at stake here. I definitely want to get there the next round, and I threw a hell of a zinger his way during the draft where somebody had their, bifocals out, and then I was like, why don't you wear these when you're picking your quarterbacks? Because his quarterbacks at the time were Sam Bradford and Teddy Bridgewater. He ends up with Bortles here at the end of the year, so he does all right. He's a waiver wire hawk.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man. That's where you make your money, dude. On the wire.
All right, Jeffy Watkins this week. He's got the combination of Rodgers and James Jones. I have Randall Cobb. I've got the Roethlisberger Brown combo. Now, I've got Michael Floyd. He's got Larry Fitzgerald. And then there's a couple other douchebag. And then he's also got Crosby. And I've got the Green Bay defense. So there's going to be a lot at stake in that Green Bay-Dallas game. So definitely stay tuned for that one.
Well, it's going to be an exciting week, man. Week 14, man. The grind, man. It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas.
And I'm still trying to win that $1 million, so everybody get the hell out of my way. Thank you.
Right on, man. Right on.
All right. I guess that does it for the rest of the Big Three show. We are out of here until Sunday morning, and that's when shit's really going to get live. And that'll do it.
That's the sermon.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at AlWalshDFS, website alwalshdfs.com. Wags, you can find them there at the Wagner Wire and thewagnerwire.com. Here's all of our Twitter handles here. Then that is the Chris Sweet at the end there, right there. Boom, shakalaka. You got it.
Go. Cop that Twitter.
Cop that son for show. All right, we are done
Check me
here.
out on Pinterest.
Check out our home and gardening channel. We are done. We'll see you Sunday. Peace.